The naked body of a missing U.S. teenager was discovered 3 weeks later in a deeply unsettling location. If you look at this photo, you might say there's no body here, but in reality, it is there. This is a terrifying and chilling story that will surely horrify you. On December 20th, 2019, 14-year-old Harley Dilly left for school early in the morning. But he never arrived at school that day, and he didn't return home either. The next day, around midnight, his father went to the police station to report him missing. The search began. 5 days after his disappearance, police released a surveillance photo showing Harley on the morning he vanished, between 6 and 7 a.m. He was last seen wearing glasses, gray sweatpants, a dark maroon jacket, and black sneakers. After 3 weeks of intense searching, police made a grim discovery. On January 13, 2020, late in the evening, police swarmed the area near Harley's home. Investigators were searching an unoccupied house directly across the street from Harley's residence. The two-story house was mostly empty and used as a vacation property. All subsequent details come from official police reports. Officers obtained a search warrant and entered the house with the owners. Inside, they encountered a bizarre scene. A pair of glasses lay on the second floor. Near the wall, they found his YT shirt and dark red jacket, which investigators picked up and hung on a door. Police thoroughly searched the house and basement, but found no other traces of the teenager. Strangely, the house was locked when police arrived, with no signs of forced entry. So how did his glasses, jacket, and t-shirt end up there? Where was Harley himself? Police examined the items. The t-shirt had a rust-colored substance knot on it. The glasses were covered in a thin layer of dust. On the floor beneath the clothes and along the wall trim, they found a rusty brick-like debris. About 60 centimeters, 24 inches. From the clothing, they discovered a bi-round metal plate, resembling a vent pipe cover. In the wall, directly above the clothing and roughly 180 centimeters, 6 feet, off the ground was a hole, apparently covered by the metal plate. The hole was about 15 centimeters, 6 inches, in diameter. It likely served as a wall flue vent for a wood stove, if one had been installed, with a pipe leading from the stove to the chimney behind the wall. Investigators inserted a camera into the hole to inspect the chimney, but got no clear image. Upon closer examination, they made a horrifying discovery. Harley's body was inside the chimney. But how did he get there? Did he fall in, or was he pushed? And how did his clothes end up scattered inside the house? Key details. The house where Harley's body was found stood directly across from his own home. The roof had a brick chimney pipe, and a tall TV antenna stood nearby. A simplified diagram of the house and chimney was shown, though not to scale. The chimney extended from the roof down to the second floor level. The house had no fireplace, so the only way to enter the chimney was from the roof. Next, we read information from the official police report. Near the chimney, there were scattered clothes, glasses, and a vent cover. The vent opening was about 180 centimeters above the floor. The body was positioned with its head toward the roof of the house and its feet toward the floor in a posture resembling a standing position. Both arms were bent at the elbows, with the elbows raised near the head. The victim was wearing boxer shorts. A layer of dust and debris covered the body, which was in an advanced stage of decomposition. During the house inspection, investigators did not detect any odor of decomposition. The victim was discovered while checking the chimney for additional evidence. Only after removing bricks from the chimney did investigators notice the smell of decomposition. After extracting the body, dark sweatpants, a pair of dark boots, a blue flashlight, one white sock, and one black sock were found on the chimney floor. The crime scene examination, including the bedroom walls and the bricks connected to the chimney, suggests that the victim entered the house through the roof opening. The position of the body and the clothing items on the floor support the theory that the victim fell into the chimney. It is likely that the clothing was pushed out of the chimney into the bedroom through the ventilation holes as the victim tried to create more space inside the chimney to breathe. The rust-colored dust on the collected clothes visually matched the color of the chimney bricks. During the house inspection, nothing indicated that Harley had been inside the house while the police were searching for him. There were no signs of an improvised sleeping area, use of the bathroom, or consumption of food. The medical examiner determined that the cause of death was compressive asphyxia, suffocation due to pressure on the chest and abdomen from heavy objects. Reports state that the chimney flue measures approximately 23 by 33 centimeters, which is a very narrow opening. Converting Harley's anthropometric data, his height was 144 centimeters and his weight was about 45 kilograms. With such a physique, squeezing into a small chimney opening would have been difficult, let alone climbing back up. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned that there was a body in this photo, and I wasn't lying. The body is behind the wall, inside the chimney. Now, let's figure out whether Harley could have entered the chimney on his own or if someone pushed him in. The police stated that investigators found no evidence of a crime. Their conclusion was that the teenager climbed onto the roof using a TV antenna and then descended into the chimney. This house was across the street from Harley's home, and he likely knew it was vacant. The fact that a flashlight was found at the bottom of the chimney suggests that Harley may have planned his descent in advance. However, he probably didn't know that the chimney ended at a concrete floor. He might have assumed it led to a fireplace or basement, like in his own house. Once trapped at the bottom in a confined space of 23 by 33 centimeters, he had no chance of climbing back out. But could a 14-year-old boy, 144 centimeters tall and weighing 45 kilograms, really squeeze into such a narrow opening? One YouTuber who closely followed Harley's case conducted an experiment. She used a mock-up of a chimney pipe with the same dimensions as the one where Harley died. Her 11-year-old son, who was the same height as Harley, 144 centimeters, but weighed 5 kilograms less, 40 kilograms, served as the test subject. They demonstrated that with such a physique, squeezing into the opening was entirely possible. Nevertheless, the experiment shows just how difficult it would be to move around inside such a pipe. This test clearly demonstrates that climbing back up such a chimney is practically impossible. But what about the clothes and glasses that were lying near the wall? According to the police, Harley removed his clothing while inside the chimney, possibly to reduce his body volume and free up some space. However, it remains unclear exactly when he took off his clothes. The ventilation opening is located about 40 centimeters above Harley's head. If he removed his clothes at the bottom, he would have had to lift them 40 centimeters up and squeeze them through a 15 centimeters wide vent. There's also a YouTube experiment involving clothing and an opening of the same diameter. The author attempted to push a jacket through it and eventually succeeded, though not without difficulty. Some people believe that Harley got stuck higher up than the vent, then removed his clothes and pushed them out with his feet. But the size of this chimney and the experiment demonstrate just how hard it is to move in such a narrow, confined space. The question remains, how did he manage to take off his jacket and t-shirt and then push them through such a small opening? Moreover, the reasoning behind this action isn't entirely clear. The police claim he removed his clothes to reduce his body size and create more space. But then, why did he throw out his glasses? Or did they accidentally fall out? Here's some information from one of the police reports. On December 21st, 2019, around 11:50 p.m., Roughly 42 hours after Harley's disappearance, his father went to the police to report his son missing. The father explained that Harley had gotten angry after breaking his phone and demanded that his parents buy him a new one. According to the father, Harley was upset because they told him he had to earn a new phone. The father also mentioned that there had been previous incidents where Harley didn't come home from school on Friday and wouldn't return until Saturday morning. When the officer asked if he had filed a police report back then, the father said no. The officer then asked why he had come at midnight to report Harley missing this time, to which the father replied that he believed Harley was gone for good, unlike before, when he usually returned by morning. When asked if Harley was suicidal, the father said no. He also mentioned that Harley had attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, and autism, but emphasized that he was very intelligent. Harley had 2 YouTube channels. The first one was created in late 2015, where he mostly posted gaming videos, occasionally vlogging about his life. The last video on this channel was uploaded on August 21st, 2019. 4 months before his disappearance, the video was titled "Rip Harley Dilly YouTube Channel," where Harley announced he was starting a new channel with the goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers. He also spoke about persevering in life and never giving up. Listening to him, he indeed came across as a bright young man, despite his ADHD and autism. He then uploaded his first video on the new channel, stating that his goal was to gain 1,000 subscribers within 2 years. At the time of his death, he only had about 100 subscribers. The fame and thousands of followers he had hoped for only came after his death. When the public learned of his story, his final video was uploaded on December 11th, 2019. 10 days before his disappearance. The description read, "Thank you for 110 subscribers." There is also a deleted video from his first channel, uploaded a year before his disappearance in October 2018, titled, "I'm Scared." In it, Harley talks about a conflict with his mother, after which she kicked him out of the house, locked the door, and left. He says he's hungry and that his mother isn't answering her phone. The police insist that the death of 14-year-old Harley Dilly was an accident. However, many people still believe he did not enter the chimney of his own free will. They find it hard to believe that a teenager of his build could have gotten into such a narrow space on his own. Yet, the flashlight found at the bottom of the chimney suggests that Harley likely planned to descend the dark chimney to enter the house. The house was across from his own, and he knew no one lived there. He climbed onto the roof using a TV antenna and then somehow ended up in the chimney. On May 8, 2008, 18-year-old Josh Maddox left home, telling his sister he was going for a walk, then disappeared. 7 years later, in 2015, an 80-year-old man was demolishing his old wooden cabin, which stood on a large plot of land surrounded by tall pine trees. The cabin had been unused for 10 years and was in a state of disrepair. When workers dismantled the chimney, they made a horrifying discovery: a human body wedged in the fetal position with its legs above its head. Later, dental records confirmed the remains belonged to the missing Josh Maddox. The cabin was just 2 blocks away from his home. His bizarre death also raises many questions. Did he enter the chimney voluntarily, or was he forced? Harley Dilly's parents have another son. Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments about this entire story. Did Harley climb into the chimney on his own, or did someone help him? If you want more stories like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Good luck, everyone.